All right, good evening, everybody. Welcome to episode 7 of the Whiskey 6. We're really, really excited about this one. It's going to be a lot of fun. Thank you all for tuning in. We appreciate it. Anybody watching right now, if you are not subscribed to the Whiskey 6, go ahead and hit that subscribe button right underneath your screen so you never miss an update, a stream, or anything. So we have a great show tonight. We've got a real special guest. We're real excited because everybody knows that this bottle, this Rebecca Creek, has caused quite the stir in Whiskey Tube. So we're real happy to have the guests we have. But before I get to our special guest, let's bring in our co-hosts. First off, I'll say Lauren can't be here tonight. She had some visitors come, so she's not able to make it to the stream tonight. So I will be representing Bourbon School solo. The producer is right behind the camera here, running the chat, taking your questions, highlighting your comments. So she is here as well. Will you say hello?
Hi, everybody.
There you go. So let's bring in first from Mash and Metal, our buddy Sean. Sean, what is up?
Cheers, people. How are we doing? I can't imagine what's in my glass. Glad to be here. Super stoked to have Daniel on. Yeah, man, can't wait. It's going to be a great show. Yeah,
this is going to be great. I'm real excited. I know you're excited. You're kind of the one that amongst us kind of brought it to the table and converted us all. So, I mean, this is really like Christmas for you.
Yeah, as I was showing off beforehand, I have some. I have some bottles. I have some.
I have
Sean, a few bottles.
I have a few too.
Yeah, I will.
Look at that.
So, I like it a little bit.
Yeah, it doesn't suck.
Yeah. But cheers, everybody. Can't wait to talk.
Absolutely. All right. So next, let's bring in Myron from the Bourbon Drop. Myron, what is up, brother?
What's up, fellas? Brian, Sean, Marie-Ann. I can't say that I have as many bottles as you guys, but I am enjoying the hell out of this bottle, as you can see by how much is left. And I don't even remember when you sent it to me, bro.
Yeah, it's been a while.
They go quick, man.
Here you go. The producer I poured myself a pour, and the producer just looked at me like, what the hell? There you go. So, yeah, Myron, welcome. Good to see you here, brother. And let's drink some Rebecca Creek here. All right, next up, let's go with our friend Ben from the Bourbon Notes. Wait. I called an audible and did it before she was ready. What is up, Ben?
You called an audible. What's happening?
I did. She was pouring a drink.
Oh, gotcha. Okay. Well, I feel like the odd man out here because I don't have any Rebecca Creek, but my excuse is that it's not sold in Minnesota, or at least I certainly have never seen it in Minnesota.
Yeah, that's my fault because I was supposed to send you some, and then we got getting ready for vacation, and I just dropped the ball on that, so I am sorry.
I thought you were going to say it's your fault that they don't distribute to Minnesota.
That's probably my fault also. Hold on, I have to let somebody know that we're on the Whiskey 6 channel and not Bourbon School. Okay, there we go. All right.
Sean,
all right,
Myron, how you guys doing?
Good, man.
Oh, loving life, Ben. How about yourself?
Yeah.
Good. Happy to be here. It's going to be a fun one. I feel like it's been a long time since the last one, but we didn't skip a month. But I just feel like Greg and I have been busy, so we've skipped a couple of our live streams on the channel here. And so it really kind of feels like it's been a while since I've just even been on anything.
We can hear you.
What did she say?
Last stream was on June 12th.
Yeah.
Oh,
so
okay.
It has been more than and also June was the long month, at least for me. I assume for others as well. Yes.
Definitely. All right. Next up, we're going to bring in a Bad Axe Bobby, and I believe Parker.
He's coming. He's up
All
there.
right.
He's here. He's in the house, people. He's in the house.
Okay.
All right. Come on.
Let's do it, Bobby.
All right. Here we go. Let's get this started. Bad Axe Way right here, right? Welcome, Daniel Wessel, master distiller, Rebecca Creek, and co-owner of Cowpuncher Thread Company. Let's do it. Whoa, yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
You know, Bobby,
right here.
Bobby, if I may say, I think tonight might even deserve more than 5 axes. I don't know. That's just my personal take.
Oh yeah!
There you go. Yeah. Put a hurt on that table. Yeah.
It was a 10x intro.
Yeah.
Nice.
Whoa, let's do it.
All
I'm
right.
ready. Ooh.
Well,
Got
in
get mine
case
out
you
right.
couldn't tell, Bobby is fired up. He is ready to go.
Bobby's fired up.
That's the right kind of energy right there.
Bobby's at an 11, and here comes the kid. Parker, what is
There
up?
we go.
What's up, Parker? Congratulations to you, man.
Yeah, congratulations, Parker.
I mean, I got to say though, Bobby, it feels weird calling him Baby Bad Axe now. I mean, he's a man now. He's a man. Yeah.
So the 6 months, so with puberty hit in real hard.
Hey, do it like Stag. Just call him Toddler Bad Axe now or something.
There you go.
Mini me.
Bobby, real quick before we move on, we're all congratulating Parker. Why don't you explain why we're congratulating him?
Because he graduated the United States Air Force Fire Academy.
Awesome.
He's home for a month. And he's going He's a full-fledged firefighter. Yes, sir. Got another firefighter boating in the house.
Nice.
There we
Ben,
go.
I appreciate that you bleeped out the middle of that word so we don't get demonetized.
Yes,
We're not monetized anyway, so we can say whatever we want.
That's right.
As punishment, where do you get to go as punishment?
All right.
I get to go to Italy.
Oh, right on. Nice.
For 3 years.
Hell yeah, man.
3
To where?
years?
Italy? Oh, Italy, that's right. Yeah, Bobby had said that.
Hey, Parker, I told your dad as soon as he told us that you're going to be going to Italy. My wife's from Italy, and so I expect that you're never coming back. You're going to find a nice Italian woman, and that's going to be it. You're just going to be locked in.
Game over.
Just one woman. Just one.
Well, I mean, take your time finding the one. Take your time finding that
Hey,
one.
I already started
Yeah.
setting limits.
You have to settle on one, but variety is the spice of life.
There we go. Right on. 290.
All right. I'm getting daggers.
21090 in the house.
Uh-oh.
I'm in trouble now.
I was
All
just
right,
about to say, Ben, I am loving this Rebecca Creek.
Hell yeah. Hey, cheers.
You guys
cheers,
are gonna
Chris.
light. You guys are gonna light me up when you find out what I'm drinking.
Oh boy.
Oh.
Well, let's go around. Everybody it looks like is drinking Rebecca Creek. So, Ben, why don't you go ahead and rain on the parade and tell us what you're drinking?
I'm actually drinking. Bam! I'm drinking Dickel.
You're right. All right. You know what? We're gonna have to rename this the Whiskey 5. We'll fix it in post. We'll fix it in post.
13-year-old Dickel.
No, actually,
Yeah. It's the 13-year bottled in bond.
We should
actually,
have said peed all over this parade if you're drinking Dickel.
I mean,
But hey, Brian, you sent me a sample of a pick that you said is actually really good, and I can't find it.
Oh, I'll send you. I
Find the-
have another bottle, so I'll send you one. But the Dickel pick we did tastes nothing like Dickel, which is why I think we picked it.
Well, so review of this coming out tomorrow on the channel. This one, like the 13-year age statement, and I paid $35 for it. Not bad. Got to tell you, it's not like in-your-face Dickel note.
Yeah.
You know, you don't want a Dickel in your face.
Yeah.
It's one of my favorites. But I'm trying to figure out why you two are sending. I'm trying to figure out why you two are sending Dickel picks to each other.
a lot of questions.
All day, every day.
Byron, a lot of questions.
Game over. Dickel picks for everybody.
In
From
fairness
me
to
to
Ben,
you.
in fairness to Ben, though, the bottle and bond Dickel is not the worst thing ever. It's acceptable.
It's good. I like it. I honestly like it.
Yeah.
I do too.
Also, cheers, Todd. 290. What's up, buddy?
All right.
So cheers, everybody in there. I started out with this. I started out the Hero Edition just to get warmed up at 90 proof. Parker's hitting up this. I did just pour this Rebecca Creek Spanish Oak, but Parker's hitting up the something else from Rebecca Creek here. This coconut pecan, the Texas Ranger.
Oh, okay. There you go. Yeah, little liqueur action.
Yes, sir.
All right. So hold on. I'm sorry, guys. we're dealing with some audio here. Does everybody hear me okay?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes. Mm-hmm. Yeah,
All
sounds
right,
good.
excellent. Okay, so without further ado, why don't we bring in our special guest? Those of you out there know that this bottle right here is a favorite of everybody here. And it caused quite a little firestorm this last year or so. People really, really loved it. And so we are lucky enough, thanks to Bobby, to have the master distiller from Rebecca Creek, Daniel Wessel here. So why don't we go ahead and bring Daniel in? Daniel, welcome. Thank you for being here, buddy.
Dog, I'm glad to be here, man.
Awesome. Awesome. So we talked a little bit before the stream. You know, we all love your Spanish oak. It's really been the one that's predominantly available by us. So we're excited to talk to you about that and maybe talk about some other things Rebecca Creek is doing and maybe some things we can look forward to. So thank you so much for being here and being willing to answer our questions.
Yeah, of course.
Awesome. So let's just say real quick, viewers, if you have questions for Daniel, if there's something you want to know, go ahead and drop those in the chat, and the producer is going to be compiling them. And if there's any of your questions that we don't cover while we're talking to Daniel, she's going to throw them up, and we're going to give Daniel a few more questions from you. So let us know what you want to know about what Rebecca Creek's doing or about Daniel, or anything else whiskey related that you want to ask. So Daniel, I'm just going to turn it over to you, and you can kind of give us a little bit about, yourself, your background, and how you ended up at Rebecca Creek. So how did you get involved in distilling, and how did you end up at Rebecca Creek?
Hey,
Well-
sorry to interrupt real quick. Am I the only one who can't see Daniel?
No, people.
Oh, I can
can't
see him
I
on
think anyone can see him.
StreamYard.
There we go.
There we go. Now I can see him. Okay.
There's
Oh,
awesome.
somebody asked, is he in a dark room?
Oh, okay. No, he's pretty well lit.
Okay.
Yeah. No, for a while there, his screen was just black. I couldn't see him
Oh.
at all.
Give me an hour.
But now we're good. Sorry to interrupt.
Yeah.
That's kind of funny.
How long have you been invisible? That's your first question. No. So yeah, tell us about your background, how you got into distilling, and how you ended up at Rebecca Creek.
Yeah, of course. Well, I was cutting grass and doing irrigation and lawn maintenance for a long time, and it paid the bills, and I got tired of doing it. And one day I got on Facebook, and a family friend had posted that they were looking for somebody on their bottling line, and I was like, you know what, anything's better than this. So I went down there and dropped off my resume, and lo and behold, a day later, I was hired onto the bottling line. So within a month, the head distiller at the time, Brad Baldwin, asked me if I wanted to be his assistant. And I was like, heck yeah, man, I'm down. So, literally from a month in, I've been in distilling. But prior to that, I have no distilling experience. So pretty much self-taught. And, Brad pretty much paid it forward and taught me everything he knew. And here we are, man. He moved on to bigger and better things at, about the 5-year mark. And I kind of stepped up into the head distiller role. So
If I might cut in just a second here, I also inform landscaping, 22 years in landscaping. Maybe that's what we have in common that made me love this bottle. Hard to say. That's awesome, man.
Go ahead,
You're
Sean.
gonna get that question off from Jeff.
I just wanted to throw that in there. Yeah, I appreciate a fellow ex-landscaper. I also don't miss it.
yeah, I don't miss it at all.
So Sean had a question, but I don't know if he printed out his agenda.
Yeah, no, I got it. But I think you're first up, aren't you, Brian?
I did. I asked, how did you get involved
okay.
in
I'm
distilling,
sorry.
and how did you end up at Rebecca
my
Creek?
bad.
Amateur hour.
You're fine.
It's true. Okay. I guess I'll move on to the actual question. My bad. All right. So how did the Rebecca Creek Spanish oak come about? Like, what was the process of getting the Spanish oak barrels, the whole thing? I'm curious. Yeah.
Well, the Spanish oak was kind of a happy accident, really. We had some source bourbon from MGP that we were going to use for a product, and we got it in, and we were harvesting the barrels. We harvested in a big 1,000-liter circle tote, and as the liquid was being harvested, it was so much darker, It almost kind of had a frothiness to it, way different than what we'd normally get in. And so we started looking into it a little more, and we investigated the barrels, and we were like, wow, those are different. Those are not American oak. Those are Spanish oak. We realized we couldn't use it for what we were intending to use it for. So we're like, man, what do we do? We'd already done the double barrel whiskey, the original double barrel that we have, which was a kind of a reverse. It was, it was second turn barrels first, and then brand new number 4 charred oak barrels afterwards. So we're like, why don't we do kind of a spin off of that, and we'll put it back into some second turn barrels that we had, and let it age for an additional 2 years. And so that's what we did, man. We kept there was about 66 barrels total. 30 of those were kept in a shipping container, which we kind of modified. We put some air vents on one side, and we put a fan on the top, and to kind of just promote some airflow through there, because as you guys know, I mean, Texas is just hot as hell.
Right.
And the other 30 barrels we kept in a building in the distillery in a somewhat climate controlled area. I thought they were going to drastically turn out different, being in 2 different environments, but for the most part, they were all, they're different, but they all had kind of similar yields and similar characteristics. So I'm just proud it's been such a good hit. And there's about 50 cases left at the distillery. So if you haven't got a bottle yet, make your way down to Rebecca Creek real quick and in a hurry.
They're keeping those there, right?
Yeah. We're only going to sell the last 50 cases out of the distillery, I think.
All right.
Okay.
So I have a quick follow-up, because we've had some discussion about this in the past, and we've kind of heard rumblings. I mean, I told you off camera, we've got a store up north of Buffalo where, as soon as Midnight Liquors, as soon as it became available, they ordered and they sold about 529 bottles in a week, or in 2 weeks. So people went crazy for it around here in Western New York. So what we have heard is that once it's gone, and that it's years and years until you would have more. Is that really the case? Is there any in the hopper, or is it truly you've got to start from square one if you make any more?
Well, if we wanted to try to recreate it, to T how it is now, it would be years and years. We could try to emulate it using barrel chips and staves, barrel chain inserts, which is kind of what, I have some barrels that are aging right now, that I'm trying to get a hold of some Spanish oak chips and barrel chain inserts, to see if I can kind of not necessarily recreate the Spanish oak, but kind of incorporate it into a future product.
Bobby, you want to go ahead?
Yep. So, what's your favorite product currently in Rebecca Creek line? And if you're not drinking Rebecca Creek, what are you drinking? I'm gonna ask that anyway. It's already in the chat.
We already know what the answer to that question is, Bobby. It's Spanish oak.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Hey, we know. Is that what we got right here?
Hey,
what I got right
real
here.
quick, off topic, Bobby. I love the Axe signature move you got, dude. I'll watch all your videos, just the first 10 seconds on repeat. Going in for the 6.
If I gotta get more time, I gotta be doing that while I'm talking.
Can we just isolate that shot of Bobby doing this?
Yeah, come on, man, come on.
It's good.
Clip
It's a
it.
good
Somebody
signature
clip
move.
it.
Flip that one, Bobby. You're in trouble.
Oh my goodness.
I knew it. I had my.
But hey, if I'm not drinking Rebecca Creek, I like rye. I love rye whiskey. So my personal favorite is Ranger Creek's 44 rye.
Okay.
They're kind of a local distillery. I know their distiller pretty well, Josh Gardner, and man, that guy's amazing. He's a wealth of knowledge. He really knows what he's doing, and that 44 rye is stellar.
Right on.
Right on,
All right.
Hey,
Cool.
I can't remember, and I send so much stuff out. Have I sent you any Corbin Cash yet?
No, you haven't, but I've seen you review it, and I've been looking at it.
All right. So most of the people here have had my pick anyway. I'm going to send you. Obviously, I'll send you some now. Now
I
that
have
I know
not,
I haven't sent
Bobby.
it to you, I'll send you some. Especially since I know you're a rye guy.
Yeah.
Bobby, I haven't had your pick.
Well, then you'll get some too. I think I'm supposed to send you some anyway.
We're supposed to exchange a bunch of samples. So
Yeah.
Hey, just real quick extra question here.
Mhm.
Dan, have you had the Still Austin rye since you're a Texas guy?
I have tried it. Every year we participate in the Texas Whiskey Fest. It's an amazing event to go to, and before the event they always have the distillers dinner. So it's from Andalusia to Milam and Green, Ranger Creek, all these local distilleries, they're all there, and all the distillers are there, and they bring what they got, these little secret projects they're working on. Like, hey man, try this. Hey, try this. And so I've tried the Still Austin rye. But just personally, I love Ranger Creek's 44 rye the best.
Okay, cool, man.
Well, now I'm going to have to get some of that.
Yeah.
I haven't had it.
That was a great answer. That was a great answer. I'll ask this question first, and we kind of touched on it in the meeting before. So Steve Eisen, he's the founder. Does he give you like total creative control? Because once I tasted the Rebecca Creek, I didn't know if this was something that you guys came up with. This was something you came up with on your own or what. But I needed to know, like, will we get more products like this in the future? So if he gives you total creative control, that is great.
Total creative control, I would say probably no, but I do have quite a bit of freedom. We talked about earlier. If I come up with something I like, I'll go ahead and pitch it to everybody, and kind of as a collective group, as a company, we'll talk about it and discuss it and taste it and try it. And if it's something everybody really likes and we want to move forward, then we're obviously move forward with it. But Eisen's got a lot of crazy ideas, man, and some of them are not. Some of them are actually pretty good ideas.
Cool, man.
All right, and the next question, it kind of piggybacks on that. So if you could do any blend, finish, or special barrel type, what would it be?
Well, I've been wanting to do a rye whiskey, obviously, because I love the ryes. And then I've really been wanting to experiment with like a port finish. So like maybe some Pedro Jimenez barrels or ex-sherry casks, really give it a nice dark sweetness to it.
Cool,
Yeah,
man.
I like it's something about a port finish that I like. I like the J Bowman port finish. I like other port finishes that I've had. That wine influence does add that little extra sweetness. Now, I don't like my stuff too sweet, but with a nice cigar, man, it just does it for me.
Yeah, so that's something I've been doing some research on and just kind of, stockpiling some knowledge, because I think maybe not in the near future, but hopefully, sooner rather than later, start on a rye port finish project.
Hey, Daniel, real quick. You got
enough tasters here, so if you want to just send us some samples,
Yeah.
we'll let you know what we think.
Yeah, if you ever need to like a trial run kind of thing.
Well, yeah, I was actually, when Bobby was down here, I was telling him that I was going to send him some samples of this, we'll probably talk about it here in a little bit, but that experimental series. And maybe we could do that on the channel and the show. And
that would be awesome.
do a little tasting of the
Oh,
experimental
hell yeah.
We'd be happy to be guinea pigs for anything you've got, Daniel.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, right.
Come on, Ben. That's what she said.
Marie Ann says you're late, sir.
Oh, well, Ben's muted, so we can't even.
That's what she said.
There we go.
Sorry, I was muted.
Better late than never, and that's also what she said. But
That's what she said.
Hey,
Nice.
hey, well, late's usually better than early. That's the one time when you catch me late.
All right, Ben, what do you got?
Well, to be honest, I don't have a ton of experience with Rebecca Creek because we don't have it here in Minnesota. So the only way I've been able to have it is to actually get a sample of it.
Where in Minnesota are you at, Ben?
I'm in Buffalo. It's about 40 miles northwest of Minneapolis.
Okay. Cool. I was born in I was raised here in Texas in Spring Branch, Bulverde, but I was born in Minnesota.
Oh, nice. Where were you born?
In a small town called Cannon Falls.
Oh, yeah. My parents lived there for a few years.
Nice, man.
Yeah, that's a nice little town. So I don't really have too many questions about the whiskey. I will say this. Have you, being a Texas whiskey distiller, have you watched our channel at all?
Yeah, I've actually seen 2 episodes, and Bobby kind of turned me on to the whole deal, but he came down
sweet.
one day,
Okay.
and we got a guy on our production line that's got just this hellacious, crazy kind of mustache thing going on, and of course Bobby comes walking up, and they're like, they could sense each other's mustaches or something. And everybody's like, "You need a mustache like that, dude."
That was funny, dude. That was funny. It was like Furbies. Start speaking the same language.
And then somehow I ended up in this conversation.
Yep.
No, but so we on the channel, it's kind of become an ongoing joke. Our initial kind of experiences with Texas whiskey just were not great. It kind of became a thing where we would trash Texas whiskey, and then we would jokingly say, really, in all honesty, it's more of some Texas whiskeys are kind of just their own style. Like I almost consider its own genre of whiskey, because it has such a different flavor profile. But when we did the review of Rebecca Creek, I said to Greg, I was like, well, damn it, now here's another Texas whiskey we like, so we're going to have to eventually abandon our trademark trashing of Texas whiskey because we really liked it. And then the second time we had a little bit left in that sample bottle. We drank it on live stream, and it was even better the second time. So the whiskey was excellent. We really liked it. But the question I have, since I don't get to talk to a lot of master distillers, so some of my friends here in the Whiskey 6 are going to know where I'm going with this. When you age a whiskey, there's air in the barrel, right?
Oh, boy.
Oh, here we go.
Here we go, the neck pour.
And when you go to bottle that whiskey, you pour it out of the barrel, and it's exposed to air in that process, correct?
Yeah.
For the record, this was not the question we had okayed, but
But I love it.
I'm doing this like a cross-examination. And then does it sit in like a vat or anything? Do you have like a holding tank before it goes into the bottle?
Yeah. I mean, there's a lot of exposure to air. And you could blend something together, and it might sit in a holding tank. It could have 5 feet of empty space with air in it. It might have, it might sit in the tank for a month. It might sit in the tank for a week. It depends on what size your distillery is and how much you guys got going on and all that.
So would you say that once it's bottled, adding this much more extra air to the neck of the bottle is going to change the entire flavor profile of the bottle of whiskey? Like everybody and their mother seems to believe on... I'm a firm non-believer in the neck pour. I think it's just such a ridiculous concept.
I don't think so. I mean, if you maybe drank half the bottle and then, put the cork back in it and let it sit in your liquor cabinet for another 6 months or something, it might change the flavor profile of it. But
I've said that before, yeah.
But just that little air, gap of air between the cap and a full bottle, I don't think really changes much at all.
Thank you, Dan. I feel vindicated.
Vindicated.
Ben's gonna.
I've got. Okay, so I'm 2 for 2 here because I've got Dan on my side on the neck pour, and I've got Nancy Fraley on my side that whiskey smells and tastes different when you drink it outside.
okay.
Good.
Ben
Hey,
is
I'm on your side
assembling
with
his
that. It
team.
does, dude. It does.
It's like the X-Men of smashing whiskey theories.
That's right.
Very nice.
Well, thanks for answering those questions, Dan. Thanks for being here. It's nice to meet you.
Yeah, nice to meet you too, man.
He's like, no further questions.
Yeah. Now, are you going to ask the question that's you're supposed to ask her?
Oh, I didn't have one written down. I was just going to ask about the neck pour.
You have one in the email.
Oh, I will ask.
Oh, I'm sorry. Was there one that was assigned to me on the sheet?
We send emails with information.
Yeah, I got the email, and I looked it over. I didn't see that there was a question for me. Come back around. We'll do this round robin.
Yeah, Dan, if you can tell, but we're all really professional here. We're taking this very serious.
We only do it once a month, so we've only done like 7 hours of this. So we're still in. We still have our training wheels
I
on.
take it very seriously.
Yeah.
Hey,
it's
Dan,
all
let me
good
ask you a
fun,
question about.
Ben just
So
got
Ask you a question
canceled.
about blending because
I'll go ahead with that question, Ben. If you want to get to number 7, once you open your email there, we can do that.
Oh yeah, I didn't see the names at the end of the questions.
Oh. Go ahead.
You gonna hit Lauren's question, Brian, or you want me to hit it up, or what?
No, we kind of are going to cover that with this question actually. Once
Okay,
Ben
right on.
asks.
Yeah, right on. Ben's canceled though. If you read the chat, Ben's canceled.
I got it. Here you go.
You vicious bastard!
Ben is now canceled. Okay, I'm going to go ahead. Ben, you hit number 7. So Daniel, what are some upcoming projects or releases at Rebecca Creek that you are really excited about?
Well, like I said earlier, we're going to talk about it. It's the experimental series.
Yeah.
I had brought that up actually just last week to my bosses and kind of pitched it to them, and they seemed all for it. So, hopefully in the next couple weeks here, we can start getting the wheels rolling on getting some labels designed, and getting some label approvals done, and getting everything squared away. And I'd like to have it released, maybe end of Q3 or so. Nice little Thanksgiving, Christmas bottle. And I think we're going to start there. So what the experimental series is, and I have a little bit here I can read to you guys. I kind of was working on a back label statement here, and this will kind of give you a good idea of what's going on. So back in the early summer of 2016, and that's when I started at Rebecca Creek, our distillers embarked on a journey to create a superior bourbon, laying back 16 original barrels, starting with a few different mash bills. So we had variations of 60 to 75% corn, 36 to 21% rye, and 4% malted barley. They began experimenting with a wide range of variables. This includes anything from fermentation temps all the way to multiple different still configurations. Throughout the years of maturation, some of the only remaining information was left handwritten on the barrels. With this limited top shelf release of 8-year-old bourbon, you will discover mysteriously yet new familiar notes in each barrel. If you enjoy our bottled and bond, this is a true treat. Harvested at cask strength with sediment filtration only, this bottle is something that will sit boldly in your collection.
Ooh,
It sounds
I like
sexy.
the sound of that.
So
Does sound good.
it's the first 16 barrels that Brad and I had laid back for Rebecca Creek. We were just we knew we wanted to do a high rye bourbon, but we were experimenting with a lot of things. I mean, he was just, when he hired me, he had only been working there for a week, and he'd worked at a couple other distilleries. So, it was all new to us. The still was new to us. We were just kind of trying to get familiar with our equipment, familiar with, what we were working with. And so we were trying different things. We were doing hot ferments, cold ferments. We have a hybrid still there, so it's a combination of a pot still and a column stripping still. And so those platelets, you can shut or open those platelets and get a higher or lower proof in the same pass. So some of the platelets we leave open, some of them we shut them. And of course, back then we were moving so fast, we just, he would write notes on the barrel, and we'd stack them and go and move on to the next thing. And of course, that's all that's left. So it's going to be 16 unique expressions of bourbon, bottled at cask strength, which is going to be, in my opinion, pretty stellar.
Yeah. Now is some of that going to be finished in different ways, like different finishes and stuff? Like, is that what we're talking about with experimenting?
Well, they're all going to be different because, like I said, some of the mash bills are different. So each set of 4, like one set might be 60, 36 4, and the next set of 4 might be 75, 21 4. And then maybe the first 4 might have been hot fermented, and the next 4 might have been cold fermented, at a cooler temp, so it takes longer. You get, different flavor profiles out of doing that. And then maybe I know there's a set of 4 in there that we straight piped, which we didn't use the column. It was just all pot still. So just at face value without doing any sort of different finishing options or filtration or post processing. They're all going to be different expressions.
Okay. Wow, that sounds really interesting. That sounds awesome.
You and
And
Brad,
you said
must have hit it
you're
off
thinking like
because
wintertime these might hit?
Excuse me?
Fall?
Yeah, fall, like around Thanksgiving, maybe Christmas time. That's when I'm hoping at least we can have them out by then.
Right on.
John Kranz threw in the comments there kind of a funny way, but also a real question for me. So he says, Rebecca Creek, next project is intermodeling transport to Southern Kentucky. That would be phenomenal. No, but a real question. What are your guys' hopes for getting out into other markets? Getting your stuff out there to more places.
Yeah,
What's that look like?
Well, I know we're in about 17 different states right now.
Oh,
I'm pretty immersed in the production distillery side of things, so I try not to stick my nose too deep in what sales is doing.
Mhm.
But we're out there.
Okay. Well, I just got to hope that Kentucky's next then.
Yeah.
Right.
let's get
Well,
you to
New York, I mean,
California.
we
California's
just-
the big state. Let's go. I know. I don't
Yeah.
even want to be here, but since I gotta be here, let's get some of this stuff into California.
Hell yeah.
We
Yeah, I mean,
just started getting it in New York a few months ago. So I mean, and I would think New York's a pretty big market. But it took a while. So
Yeah, I mean, Dan, just some background. So I was like the Rebecca Creek guy for a while. I wouldn't shut up about it. I kind of got all these guys on the Rebecca Creek train, and all of these bottles I had to get shipped in from elsewhere because there's none in Kentucky, unfortunately.
Yep.
A travesty, but yeah, it was well worth it. And actually, the two I have open here, this would be bottle 4 and 5. 3 already hit the dirt. Yeah, so.
What barrel number are you sipping on right now?
So of the two that I have open here, this is my favorite of the two. And it is barrel, of course, 21st, and then dash 0049.
Oh, me too.
Yeah. I believe I got this bottle from you.
That's the one I hand delivered to you.
And then the other one I have open is, which I think this was also from you, Brian, 20-0047.
Yep, that's this one here.
I got 20-0046 and barrel number or bottle number 104.
But Daniel, I imagine this barrel is long gone. But if anyone ever finds a 20-0, let's see, let me make sure I got it right. 0101. So 101. That is my favorite bottle of all time. That was my whiskey of the year. That bottle is phenomenal.
Wow.
Thanks,
yeah.
man. We appreciate it.
Now, Daniel, are you like, if we throw a number out to you, can you tell us about the barrel? Are you like, do you have that kind of encyclopedic knowledge of your barrels?
I do, but not at my fingertips right now.
Gotcha. But yeah, you sure you have notes? You have notes on everything and
Yeah,
everything.
yeah. I have an Excel chart that's got all the barrels that we have in there listed out, and I have, if I'm lucky enough, I mean, we're growing so fast, and our distillery is so cramped right now. If I'm lucky enough to be able to take notes on it, they're recorded.
Nice.
Especially with these Spanish oak double barrels, I have notes on almost all of them. When we get ready to start bottling, I taste all the barrels. So
Now,
I would think
how hard is it? How hard is it to like blending? Like because I entered the bakers competition, and these guys know the bakers. I entered the bakers competition, and I did like an 11 bottle blend, and it turned weird on the back end. Like it was great up front, but it turned weird on the back end. I still wasn't satisfied with it, but I sipped it in, and I was like, man, blending is hard as hell.
well, a lot of it's really trial and error. I mean, you're just trying different things, and then the more you know what works and what doesn't work, and the more you figure out your landscape of what you're doing, the more you can kind of gravitate towards, like, I know that this will give me this kind of taste, and if I blend it with this and that. So it's just, it's getting in there and doing it, really.
So it's just trial and error, on the job learning, pretty much.
Yeah, you just learn, the more it's like anything else you do, the more you do it, the better you get at it, and the more you know what works and what doesn't work, the more you find out what pairs well with other things. So just keep at it.
Sure, man.
I will just note, speaking of the Baker's blending competition, there is one person on this panel who happens to be in the final 4 of that competition.
I
who has
noticed
never
that.
blended in his life.
Sean.
I noticed
Nope,
that, sir.
it's this guy right here.
I didn't even enter. So
Yeah. I brought up a bunch of bottles. I kind of knew what I wanted to do. Threw some stuff together. Marianne was my taster.
Pay attention to that part. Say again, please.
Marianne was my taster.
Oh, okay.
And we are
She
in the
did the
final 4
work.
next weekend.
yeah, I mean, Bobby, if I would have entered, I would have just blended these 2 bottles and sent it in.
Yeah, right.
He probably
And I would have won. And I would have won.
Fan of show.
Right.
Yeah.
All right. So last question for you, Daniel, and then we'll see. I got to be honest, a lot of the chat questions have been like, when are we getting more Spanish oak? But who in the whiskey world would you most like to collaborate with?
Wait, I thought that was my question.
A distiller.
Josh Gardner from Ranger Creek.
Okay. So this Ranger Creek sounds pretty impressive. Is it Texas only?
Yeah, they're in San Antonio.
Okay.
Can we have some hand delivered?
Yeah, I think we need some hand deliveries of this stuff.
Yeah, I got a good buddy. He runs an Instagram channel called Liquid and Leaf. Jacobs is his name, and he keeps telling me about Ranger Creek. Unfortunately, it also is not available in Kentucky, so I'm gonna have to find somebody to hand deliver it.
If only you got somebody who lives in Texas.
Creek, you got some all creeks in there.
Yeah,
they like the creeks, man. Texas.
So,
like the creeks.
real quick, I know we're here obviously to talk about Rebecca Creek, but obviously you are a big Ranger Creek fan. What are some of the things they make?
I'm a big Josh Gardner fan. I met him at the first distillers dinner I went to, and the dude knows his stuff, man. He's good at what he does. He's an excellent blender. He's always got new cool projects that he's doing. He's a great brewer. They do Ranger Creek does beer there as well, but
wow.
So you say distillers dinner. So is that I mean, I know what it break it down. I know what it means, but is that something that's an annual thing or?
Yeah. It's part of the Texas Whiskey Fest. So every year
cool.
they do a festival with all these Texas distilleries, and each distillery sets up their products, and they have people, and it's a festival. People come do tastings and check out these new distillery products. But before the event, the night before the event, they have a distillers dinner, and all the distillers get together, and they bring in some food, and there's live music, and everybody just kind of mingles and tries out these new things that everybody's got on the back burners that they were kind of working on.
That's cool, man. I like
So that's when everybody brings their like secret bottles and stuff.
Yeah. Maybe if you're down here next time it's going on, Bobby, I can bring you as a special guest.
Hey, man, give me the dates. Give me the dates, man. I might have to make that happen.
Right on. Right on.
Let me ask a question about the American single malts. So I don't know if you guys are still producing the American single malts, because the video that I watched was from a while ago. It was from when Brad was still the master distiller, and he talked about American single malts. Now I love American single malts, especially at cask strength. Do you guys still produce those, or have any? If you're not, do you plan on bringing them back out? Because it does seem like American single malts are catching on a little bit.
When I started working for Rebecca Creek, they had about 2 pallets left of the single malt. And within maybe a year and a half or so, it was gone. And we have no plans to bring it back or anything, but I personally liked it.
Yeah, I love a good cask strength American single malt, and I think the Texas climate would be perfect for aging American single malt.
I am with you. I own 3 of these Balcones single malts, and then I also have 2 of the peated. If you guys did one, I would be all over it. That'd be great, man. Yeah.
If you're a single malt,
See, I love the Old Line out of Ohio. Old Line to me out of Ohio, they make one hell of a single malt, and it drinks like a bourbon. It's not a bourbon because it doesn't necessarily have those malty flavors like most single malts do. But at cask strength, even the cognac finish, it's something about it, man. It's just excellent. And the way I like the Rebecca Creek, I'm pretty sure you guys will put together a hell of a single malt.
And to Myron's point, I have to add on. I mean, I did a pick with 21090 recently, and Old Line does a great American single malt. That'll be out recently. Not to promote another channel, but yeah, I mean, they did a great pick. So I have to shout it out. Yeah, shout out 21090.
I'll have to check it out. I haven't tried it.
Yeah.
To add on to this whole conversation, to be fair about Texas whiskey, when we say, hey, we didn't like Texas whiskey, most of our first introduction to it was Garrison Brothers and Balcones. And we all know that Balcones doesn't do bourbon well, but they do single malts well. That's what they specialize. And when I was there at their distillery, they said they're getting rid of all that crap and they're just going to start doing single malts.
Yeah.
So, you know what? Right on. That's what you do it. Because I
do what you
tasted
do
bourbon
well.
from them that I like.
I mean, in fairness, I like their cast strength rye too, but I'm probably in the minority. But nonetheless,
Garrison Brothers?
no, Balcones cast strength rye.
Balcones.
Sean, I would say Sean of this group is probably the biggest Texas whiskey guy. I think.
Oh yeah, like unequivocally, I hold the crown.
Yeah, but
if we
I
started
gotta
with
say,
Rebecca Creek, then it would be a different story.
I mean, me and Ben have had many arguments over Texas whiskey. So
yeah,
Yes, we have.
lucky, like the only ones I've really had, because I haven't bought any Garrison Brothers and some others, but the only ones I've really had have been this one here and Still Austin Cast Strength, and I think they're both great. So I don't have that like bad impression of Texas whiskey because I think I've started with a couple of really good ones. So maybe I won't go any further than Rebecca Creek and Still Austin to just kind of keep my positive impression of it.
Rebecca Creek, Milam and Green. I like all those.
Yeah,
I started off with the two I don't like.
yeah, Garrison's not a great place to start.
I think the small barrel choice is where they went wrong, in my opinion. With it's just for the Texas climate. I think, and then back to that question earlier about if you could use any barrel of choice or varietal. I think maybe using a larger barrel would be in the Texas heat. Like instead of a standard 200 liter 53-gallon bourbon barrel, maybe use like a 300 liter or
like
500 500 liter barrel.
Those giant wine barrels, yeah,
because you get such quick aging with the Texas climate, and especially to go to an even smaller barrel where I just feel like it ages so quickly. But I mean, it's all subjective, I mean, everybody likes different things, and there's not very much bad whiskey out there, I don't think, but there's a lot of good whiskey. But it's just what you like and what your preference is,
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I mean,
a lot of times we try to. I was going to say we try to approach like doing reviews from that kind of. I mean, like I said, we had fun trashing Texas whiskey, and Sean and I argue about it. But we always do say it's just kind of a style. But I think we started on an end where we didn't like, but then now we've gotten to a point like Still Austin Cast Strength we really like, Rebecca Creek we really like. We had like a Nancy Fraley pick from Still Austin, and the 21090 pick was excellent.
Oh yeah.
But we always try to say, like, aside from, all jokes aside, we always try to say, like, if something isn't for us, we try to at least give some information where it's like, hey, if you like X, Y, and Z, you might like this.
For sure.
It's not for us, but if you know what I mean? To try to just at least recommend it to people whose profile it may be for.
Yeah, because Garrison Brothers is very, very rich and very bold and very pronounced on pretty much all of their products. And like I said, I think that's really due to this small barrel choice. But some people like that. That's this.
Actually, I had a Garrison Brothers Cowboy Bourbon at a bourbon meetup, and I thought it was pretty good. I mean, everybody.
Now you're talking about $200+ whiskeys now. That's
That's
true. We're talking about affordable whiskeys.
Which
Garrison Brothers is pretty pricey.
Bottle is still Austin. I still haven't. I haven't went back out and bought another bottle, but my first bottle is still Austin Cast Strength. I wasn't a big fan of the Balcones American Single Malt that I have. It's kind of more. It's watered down. I guess I like more of a cast strength, something that's richer. So when I tasted that,
did you have the lineage?
I was like, wow. I was like, this is actually isn't bad.
Yeah, I've got the lineage.
Yeah,
Yeah, the lineage. I did. Yeah, that's the
lineage
one I bought. I
is-
thought it was a little watered down.
It is.
It's not something that I go to, So
It's only 94 proof, so
So Ben, the Balmorea was that's like that's at least $100, $100 and something dollars. And that one I did. I won't say I did.
150.
I won't say that I did. Okay, so that's right where I would say I don't not like it, but I didn't like it. It was right there, and that's the price point is what 150. That's
Yeah.
the
Something
problem.
like that.
Oh,
Yeah,
it's
That's
that's
the problem. Because
easily,
Cowboy's good.
easily 2 of these, almost 3.
Yeah, and
That
that's
Balmorea is
why
like
I wouldn't
$230
even buy it.
around here.
I would buy
What's
6
that
or
much?
7 or 8 of these.
Yeah.
I would buy this anyway. It's better.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
so
think
Bobby, to your point, we did the review of the Balmorea. Greg and I actually both kind of like that one. It is interesting, and like you said, Dan, their stuff is really, really super rich and bold. It's just very rich and bold in flavors that just aren't my typical, kind of my sort of vibe. But again, it's the price point. Like the Balmorea for $100, yeah, sure. But I think it's like $200. Like their regular, just single barrel, not even cast strength or whatever, is like $100.
Yeah.
And so it's like, I don't know, it's kind of hard to justify the price on that. And, that's a great thing we said in our review of the Rebecca Creek.
It's incredible.
A lot of companies that even if they're sourcing from MGP or something like that, they'll get a hold of it and they'll barely do anything with it at all, and they'll charge $100 for the bottle.
Yep.
Yeah.
And so we had said in that, with the extra finishing and stuff like that, and to keep it at like, what is it, like $65 a bottle or something like that? I mean, that's
Yeah, I think we
that's
got
awesome.
ours for 60. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, truly, to Ben's point, I mean, to find something on the market that I've never seen done before. I've never seen a Spanish oak barreling, and then for it, as Ben said, God damn it, for it to be sourced from MGP, and just quick side note. The glue needs a little work, but
That happens with so many, dude. It's not even that.
that is, you know what? Like it's forgivable though, because the whiskey's amazing. So but anyway,
That'd be better than Knob Creek caps.
Yeah,
we've addressed that issue moving forward. So hopefully, bottles produced after late 2023, early 2024 will no longer have that issue.
yeah.
All right.
No, but anyway, what I was going to say is, just to find that kind of a value these days in this market, like that was awesome.
absolutely.
And that's why I bought so many, is because I was like, this is an amazing whiskey for a very affordable price. Like, I'm buying them all. I'm going to buy every single one I can get. Yeah.
Tell Bobby to do it.
Oh, there you go.
So tell him to do the laser
Go
beams
like
again.
Do the laser beam. Yeah. All right.
I got
No,
totally distracted.
But then,
I mean, really, Dan. I mean, like that just shows me like you guys are like for the people. I mean, because you guys could have charged whatever you wanted, and to keep it affordable, that's fantastic.
no, we just want people to drink good bourbon, man.
Yeah.
Hey,
And
to add into
I
that,
think one of
if
the
anyone can
reasons.
go to that distillery, that is a cool distillery. It's literally right off the freeway. There's a Dutch Bros, and what's that? Is it McDonald's or something back there? It's something.
There is the McDonald's now.
Okay, there's Dutch Bros and then McDonald's, dude, and then Rebecca Creek. Dude, it is a cool distillery. They have a place a stage where you get comedy, bands, or whatever. Then they have a nice indoor. I'm sorry, I forget her name in the front office, but she said they're getting ready to do something with the interior of that area where the
Logan?
bar is. Yes, she's great. Please tell her I said hi.
I will.
She's awesome.
Hey, Brian, because
that area inside.
I know that Dan has another topic that we needed to cover tonight for
Yes.
sure.
One
Yes.
We do have a couple of questions
Sugar
before
Kitty has a great question.
before
Well,
we go on.
if I may, my final question, then I'll shut up. I promise.
Sure,
'Cause
go ahead.
This was a great question when I asked David from Corbin Cash. Your favorite distilling mistake, like whatever the thing was that went really wrong in your distilling experience, whatever that was, and how that went. I'd love to hear it. With David.
Man. There's been a couple of them. I mean,
What's your
let's see.
favorite FS?
Favorite distilling mistake. I lit a barrel on fire one time. That was kind of cool. And
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Someone say fire.
you know, when a barrel starts leaking, that you have these little wax cubes, and you'll get a lighter, and you'll kind of drip the wax on the leaky spot, and it'll seal up the barrel. And I, of course, didn't really have much experience doing this, and Brad was still there at the time, and he was like, "You just go take care of it, man. You'll figure it out." And so I'm out there, and I did not figure it out right away. It caught on fire, and I was like, "Holy shit!" Get the hose, you know. And it's a tornado of fire blowing out the bung.
yeah, castrate whiskey on fire. Yeah, I'd say.
Yeah, that's probably my favorite one right there, man.
That's
Hey,
good stuff,
y'all could
man.
have sold that as a limited edition single barrel, the Smoky Barrel.
Yeah,
The Bad Axe Bourbon Edition.
yeah.
That's right.
Got that heavy char action going on.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, we do have a few questions from the chat. Before we hit that, are there any other guys on here who have questions for Daniel?
I'm good.
Okay. So let's go to the chat. They did ask, there were a few questions that came in.
Sugar Kitty had a great question.
Yeah, Sugar Kitty had one.
Sorry.
John Kranz had one.
Yeah.
Oh, wait a minute now.
You
No.
John Grant said it was Mickey
Hold
D.
on.
There was a chance.
No.
There's your chance at brisket, Sugar Kitty.
That's why I told you to write them down.
But I was ready to put it up. I'm gonna have to move on.
Okay.
Is there a particular bodega they are sourcing?
Is there a
Spanish
particular bodega you are sourcing the Spanish oak from?
A bodega.
This is a joke question.
Yes,
Yeah, right.
the joke question.
Love me, Sugar Kitty.
Okay, so I do actually have a couple of questions that were asked from the chat. The one was
He's been
about
shit all night.
relating. Yeah, she said Sugar Kitty's been a shit all night. Dan, can you relate your music creation
Oh, yeah,
with
definitely.
your blending?
Music creation.
Yeah, I think people are maybe assuming you're a guitarist. You got some guitars on the wall behind you?
Oh yeah. I've been playing guitar for a long time.
Okay.
Yeah, I think like the approach to like playing by ear and or writing music, kind of knowing what works and what doesn't work, and obviously the more you play, the more familiar you get with the fretboard, the more familiar your ear gets with what you're playing. Is kind of relatable in a sense to blending. You know, you just like Myron, I was talking to Myron earlier, you know, the more you do it, the more you know, and the more you know what works and what doesn't work. And the more familiar you get, the more you know, I can go over here and that'll work. And I can step over here and that'll work. And so, or I can use this, I can blend this bourbon with that, and that'll give me the desired taste that I'm looking for. So
Yeah.
in that sense, yes. And then also, just from a distillery standpoint, you know, I originally went to school for audio recording in Arlen Studios in Austin. I wanted to have a music studio and record bands. And so doing those courses taught me a lot about like cable management and keeping things neat and clean and running, you know, lights and sound. And so there's a lot of relatable things like that in the distillery world because we transfer everything with pumps and hoses and, you know, even just signal processing chains, like when you have a guitar and you run it through this effect pedal and then through this preamp, and then you can put things in a different order to get a different result is kind of the same thing with post processing, where you can put filtration last or filtration first, or and so there's just a lot of experimentation.
I did have Brian from Buffalo Bourbon Enthusiasts asked, who is your favorite guitarist?
Who's my favorite guitarist?
This is the most important question of the night right here.
Oh man, probably Tom Morello.
Yeah, I called it. I was going to say that.
Okay, man, that is a Gretsch behind you, right?
No, it's actually an Epiphone, man.
Baby, rage.
Oh, okay.
It's an Epiphone that I worked at a music store for a while at Sam Ash here in San Antonio, and I had a guy come in one time that was like, I want to trade this guitar in. And of course they give you like pennies on the dollar for what you're trading in. And I was like, dude, I'll give you like $50 more than what they're asking for it. And he's like, deal, sold. And so I bought that guitar for like $150.
Oh, right on.
And then I've been having people sign it. I don't know if anybody can see it from that far away, but usually when I go to a concert, I get people to sign it. I got the Wood Brothers, and I got Shane Smith and the Saints on the back. I don't know if anybody knows who they are.
Okay.
Texas music scene. Roger Krager, Dirty River Boys. So it's a cool specimen of guitar, man.
Yeah, for
Really
sure.
cool.
Yeah, I was just guessing based on your guitar choices. You were more like a blues and like kind of bluesy rock guy. But so Tom Morello, I did not guess that. Okay.
No, I have a lot of blues influence and a lot of jazz influence in what I play, for sure.
Yeah. Okay.
Hey,
So
you gonna ask me a question?
I want to clarify real quick. Sugar Kitty did clarify. He said, no, it's not a joke. I was interested in knowing their connections to the sherry producers, if any. I've been to South Spain, Jerez, San Lucar, and etc., and visited several sherry bodegas and are wondering about the process. However, Dan, you said that you guys kind of got the barrels, and it was kind of like, oh shit, these are Spanish oak. Like, it was not like you picked the barrels to
Yeah,
put
it was not
they
planned
came to you like that.
by any means. It was not planned.
Okay.
And I've been trying to source some Spanish oak barrels, which is it's not too terribly hard, but for whatever reason, trying to find the chips or the barrel chain inserts or the staves is just, everybody's like, they kind of ghost you. They're like, yeah, we can maybe get them, and then nothing. So it's seeming to be a little bit harder than I thought it would.
Well,
That's because everybody's got their focus on Ambarana at the moment. They need to be focused on Spanish oak.
That's right.
Yeah.
Hey, Baby Bad Axe got a question for you.
Yeah, what's up, man?
So, what's your favorite genre of, I guess, rock or whatever you're usually into? There's a lot of subgenres and stuff. What do you usually gravitate towards?
Well, I really like jazz and blues. If you're talking about rock, I would say there's so much out there, man. I
know.
I pull from so many different styles when I play, and to be honest with you, I've had so many irons in the fire lately with this company my wife and I started up here lately, and everything else, that I haven't really been able to play much lately. But jazz and blues for the most part. And while I did my little stint trying to do a recording studio, and I went to school in Austin at Media Tech, I had met some guys that I became really close with, and we started a live hip hop band, kind of like Limp Bizkit-ish. So we had yeah, it was really cool, man. It was a lot of fun.
That's the rap metal.
Yeah, a little bit of rap metal. I love to play some metal and some hard rock.
Oh yeah, I like that.
So I guess to narrow down the question a little bit, Dan, favorite artists right now, like what are you listening to?
What am I listening to? I'm listening to like a lot of Texas country right now. So
Okay.
Zach Bryan. Let's see what's in my playlist, man. Colton Moore, Old 60, Pecos and the Rooftops, stuff like that.
Okay. Cool, man.
Hey,
Awesome.
Hey Brian, are we hitting up some some chat questions? They weren't gonna hit his other business up. Is that where we're
Yeah,
at?
I think Bobby, I was just going to actually turn it right over to you, and you can give us a little Q&A about Cowpuncher.
Right on. So if anyone doesn't know, I know Daniel can explain it way more than I way better than I can, and he will. So see this right here.
Yeah, look at that logo.
Look at that. I love this shirt, man. And he sent this to me. Thank you so much, Daniel. And his hat, it's not even on the website yet, is Bourbon Cowboy. That must be the one and only or the original Bourbon Cowboy hat. But cowpuncherthreadcompany.com. Go to that. You'll see his company that he and his wife started. It is incredible. I love. He says he'll tell you all this stuff, but he does the artwork with some AI, does the artwork and comes up with the ideas and all the backstories behind the names. If you guys go to the website, there's a lot of cool stories. You know, I'll just turn it over to you, Daniel. Where the real cowgirls of Texas come from. All the names come. You can go through this. We talked about 3 or 4 names the other night that you got going on, and the style of the artwork that are on the shirts that are incredible. I can't wait to get one of those hats, brother.
You can tell Bobby got a little overexcited about that.
Dude, I did, man. I was like, let's do it. Woo! Yeah! Let's just do this.
So, Daniel, tell us all about it.
Do it. There we go. Right on, Brian.
Yeah, that's it right there.
Cowpuncher Thread Company.
So Cowpuncher Threads, it's a Western brand that my wife and I started this year, a couple months back, and we're super excited about it, man. Things are going really well. We do the hats, the shirts, the wild rags, and some stickers. We had known for a while that we wanted to start something in the Western space. I'm a hat connoisseur, so that's kind of where we started at. And we were kind of struggling on a name for a while, and then it stumbled across this old paperwork from the 40s and my wife's grandfather's when he signed up for the Navy, and it had said previous occupation was cowpuncher. So cowpuncher is just another word for cowboy, cattle driver. So we're like, that's it. It's kind of an old dead word, and it's got some edginess to it. And so really what we wanted to do, another thing that I do on the side, on my weekends, is I'm a rodeo DJ. So I work at a pro rodeo 9 months out of the year. And so when the bulls come out of the chutes, I'm cueing different music, whether it's a Limp Bizkit or Godsmack or something for bulls, and some high energy stuff for the barrel racing.
Ever any Slaughter to Prevail or?
Oh wait! Oh, yo, I gotta talk to you, man. You got Slaughter to Prevail?
And doing
that,
I've been working out there for 13 years. So there's been all the owners' kids and stuff. They're stellar athletes in the Western space, and so doing that, we wanted to create a brand that not only like really paid homage and respect to our family heritage, but kind of gives them a platform to showcase their skills on. But yeah, man, it's something we started this year, and it's going great.
Hey, you know what? One of the first guys, and that's how small of a world and how connected people are. One of the first guys to ever send me a bottle. He hosts I guess, what are they called? When the bull riding competitions.
Rodeo.
I guess. You get
Are
on
you
the
talking
bull
about
and
bull
you get
fighting or bull riding?
No, the bull riding.
It was just a bull
so
riding.
he hosts like one of those where you I forgot the rodeo,
Mm-hmm.
but you come out of the stall on a bull, and it has to buck you off.
Yeah, you gotta hang on for 8 seconds, man.
Yeah.
So one of the first guys to ever send me a bottle actually hosts those, and I've never met him in person. Really cool guy, man. We've talked on the phone several times. The closest he's ever gotten to me, because I live in Maryland, the closest he's ever gotten to me is New York. He was like, if you're going to be in the New York area, I can get you in. I was like, dude, New York is like a 4-hour drive for me. He was like,
Well, that's
Daniel,
cool, man.
Hey, Daniel, so let's go over where the names came from. Like Western Legend has a story.
So
Cowpuncher obviously has a story. You covered that. There's
we started with this cowpuncher hat.
Texas.
This cowpuncher hat's kind of for my wife's grandfather, because he was the cowpuncher, right? And this was the first hat that I had made and designed. They're all custom hats. They're not Richardsons or Yupongs that we get embroidered, so they're completely custom made from the ground up. But this is the cowpuncher hat here.
Dude, that's sick. It is a sick hat.
It's kind of got like what I wanted to do was take like some old world logos. Like this kind of reminds me of like a Marlboro cigarette box.
Yeah.
Is that the A-frame? The A-frame style hat?
It's more like a ball cap. It's got that curved brim on it. And then
It's
the
like-
knife.
You can see that, but like,
Yeah. It's not that much of a curve, but it's a curve
like
Yeah,
up
no,
here,
I
is it kind of like that?
on top. Well, yeah.
Oh
There
yeah,
you go, yeah.
oh yeah.
All right,
Yeah.
you gotta find which ones you like.
Yep.
That
I
Western
like the
Legend-
cord across the front
right
too.
now.
That's old school.
Oh, it's
Yeah,
flopping
so
around.
the story behind Western Legend has a story too. Real Cowgirls of Texas has a story, and
This Western Legend's kind of for my grandfather, man. He was a Western legend, dude. That he was crazy, man. And my dad's family come from Mound City, South Dakota, some small town nowhere. They're avid cattle ranchers and hunters, and they love to rodeo. But that's the Western Legend hat right there. It's more of like a Richardson 256. It's not a structured cap or anything like that, but like I said, everything's custom made. It's all high quality fabrics and high quality embroidery.
I love it, man. I love it. So
then-
now for the win, the Real Cowgirls of Texas.
Bobby likes the Real Cowgirls of Texas. So
It's just
Who?
cool.
Who doesn't?
Well, tell me about the gun. I love the story behind the guns. So
yeah, so my wife's dad about a year ago had gifted her some 357 single action New Vaquero pistols with matching serial numbers, and so those were the Real Cowgirls of Texas. And so when we came up with this hat, we were like, you know what, that's going on a hat right there, Real Cowgirls of Texas.
Yeah, man.
So,
And
so
then-
if you reverse the pistols, do you get reverse Cowgirls of Texas?
Everyone's favorite.
Actually, a buddy
right
of mine I had reached out to recently. He started a little clothing brand as well. He did it.
High five Myron on that one.
He did a hat that said cowgirl on it, but the letters were reversed. So it was spelled out. It wasn't backwards, but just the letters were reversed.
There we go. Yeah.
Okay.
We're getting demonetized now.
We were never monetized.
I know. I just like to say it.
So now you were in
All
a
right.
band. Well,
And we're never gonna
story
be.
about a name that when you were in a band, right?
Oh yeah, the band that little Limp Bizkit-ish band that I was in Austin, man. We were called the Odd Joints, dude. We never played any really big shows, mostly like house parties and smaller stuff like that. But
So,
it was a
you
lot
said-
of fun. Dude.
When we talked, you said you were hanging out with a buddy's house, and then you came up with a name, what you called it, and that's kind of one of the lines too. That's on one of your shirts.
Oh yeah, a buddy of
Yeah,
mine,
talk about
the
that.
drummer, my good buddy Zach. His dad. I mean, dude, we would always be over there playing music and just jamming. His mom would make these amazing meals for us, right?
Love it.
And his dad had this sign in his barn that said El Rancho Not So Grande, and I was like, that needs to be an album cover one day, because they had a small little ranch. It wasn't the biggest ranch ever, but it was their ranch. And so anyways, his dad passed away about a year and a half ago, and I was like, you know what, I'm gonna put that on a hat. So we got El Rancho Not So Grande.
That's sick.
So
Really
that
cool.
makes that hat so much cooler, knowing
Yeah.
the backstory of it.
Yeah, hell yeah, it does.
It just, man, knowing the backstory, because you just see it, if you don't know the backstory, like, oh, okay, what does that mean? Why does it say that? But now know the backstory, I'm like, that's freaking cool, dude. I love that.
Heck yeah.
Nice.
This is more challenging than I thought, to try to get the hat straight in the camera. Good job.
It's all backwards.
Got to move it in the opposite direction. Yeah.
There you go.
So the website is
So Dan, I hate to put you on the spot, but I gotta ask, man, because of your family's history in the rodeo, have you ever rode the bronc or the bull? Ever done any of that kind of stuff? Or
No, growing up, man, I grew up on a ranch. My dad actually owned and trained and bred thoroughbred horses.
okay,
So, race horses. So I spent a lot of time at the track and running around with him and doing a lot of ranch work, and I rode for a little bit when I was younger, but I never got into rodeo, and probably for good reason, because I mean, some of these kids coming up that we sponsor with our brand are
I was going to touch on that. Good.
they're just like, they're stellar athletes, man. I mean, we got Gavin Hawk in the bull riding. He's 19 years old. He's just got signed with the team in the PBR. And I mean, his buddies that's on his team won like third in the world championship of the PBR, and these kids are like 19 years old.
I love that stuff.
You know, I love it when football players complain about how dangerous their job is. Like, try riding a bull.
But you know, it's like
it wants the safest job on the planet, be a quarterback in the NFL.
Yeah, you know, it takes an incredible amount of skill and athleticism to do that, and especially be good at it. But to top all that off, like as good as you are and as athletic as you can be, like if you get hurt, it's over.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
and you can get hurt so easily, just like that.
Yeah.
So it's impressive to see these kids that I've known since they were knee high old, and now they're competing on national levels, and it's pretty cool.
Yeah, Dan, just quick background on me. So I grew up in Ocala, and you're probably familiar with it due to your horse background. So, you know, Ocala was fighting Lexington for the horse capital of the world for a while. So, like, I grew up working on horse farms and stuff, and so I've rode horses most of my life, and never, you know, done the rodeo stuff. I can't claim that, but I've seen a lot of it. Man, a full-grown bull, man, they can F you up incredibly quickly. I've seen a mad bull take, you know, and these are giant gates. I mean, like solid steel, and just hook his horn under the gate and just flip it up like it was a can of Coke. They're just no, get the hell out of my way. I'm moving now. I mean, just so powerful.
That animal wants to end you.
They're 1,500 pounds, you know, pushing 2,000 pounds. I mean, that's a big hunk of beef, man.
Yeah. Yeah. Anyway, Brian, I'm sorry. I interrupted. My bad.
Brian, you're muted.
You're muted, buddy. Brian.
Sorry. That's fine. We're here. I mean, we want to hear from Daniel. So this is all good stuff. The website is cowpuncherthreadcompany.com. The producer put that in the chat. She's going to drop it in the chat again. So go check all that out. She said, please hold. So it'll be there in a minute.
There's people buying stuff already.
And if I could say this too, if anybody watching wants to buy something, if you put Cowpuncher 15 in the discount code, it'll get you 15% off.
Will you put that in the chat?
You write that down, because as soon as I'm offline, I'm going to do that.
All right. So as always, we end up with a rapid fire session, and this could be whiskey related. It could not be whiskey related, but it is just, we're going to go around the horn. We're going to ask a question, and you're going to give us your under 30 seconds answer, let's say.
This is a great question.
This is a good one. So my wife, Marianne, has planned a 50th anniversary trip to Ireland this year. So I am going to Ireland, celebrating my 50th. I'm going to turn 50 in Ireland. I'm very excited. So then we came up, what was our question?
What is your favorite birthday celebration and why?
Favorite birthday celebration that you have had? We're going to start with Ben. Go.
Favorite birthday celebration that I can think of right offhand. My wife and I were on a cruise one year. We went down to one of the stops was in Belize, and it happened to be the day of my birthday. And we went zip lining through the jungle in Belize, and then we did some like river rafting through these caves. And they do this thing. Sorry, I'm going to try to keep this under 30 seconds, but it's kind of a cool story.
You're fine, Ben.
They do this thing when you get in the middle of the cave and it's pitch dark, and everybody turns their little lights on in their thing. And then they ask for two people that are dating but aren't married, and they do like a little Belizean cave wedding ceremony, right? And they make a little bouquet for you. We weren't married at the time, but they did this little thing just for fun, right? So we get back from the river, and I'm still in Belize, and I call my mom, and I was telling her, I sent her a picture of my wife holding this bouquet, and I said, we got married in a cave in Belize, and I was just joking, and right then the phone service cut out. So my mom spent like until I could get a hold of her like 2 days later, thinking I had gotten married in Belize, and that happened to be just on my birthday.
Oh my gosh, that's great. So yeah, how long did it take to like get her the actual news that you weren't married yet?
It was like 2 days. So it was a long time. So she thought I had actually gotten married. And she was thrilled that I had gotten married because she loves my now wife.
Yeah. That's awesome.
Yeah, it was kind of funny because that phone just cut out at just the worst possible time. But it was a great day, and it was. I just remember that was on my actual birthday.
All right, Myron, you're up, brother.
Honestly, I'm kind of a boring guy when it comes to my birthday, man. If it was a memorable birthday, it was probably something done by my wife because she likes to do a big thing, and I always tell her, look, I just want to relax, sit on the couch, drink a beer, or go play golf. That's all. That's all I want to do. You know, for my 40th, COVID came. She had a whole surprise birthday party planned. She had glasses made up. She had a venue. She had this this box made up with. She had a whiskey cake that was going to be made, and of course, it just didn't happen because of COVID. But that probably would have been my most memorable. But I always tell her, don't make a big fuss over me. I just like to chill and hang out.
All right, right on. What do you got
We're
next?
going about it.
Bobby.
Hey, so on my 50th birthday, which was 3 years ago now,
He's the elder
Mrs. Badass-
statesman of the Whiskey Six.
Bobby, you
Yeah,
look
right.
fantastic, man.
So Mrs. Bad Axe put together a whiskey tasting for us. We had barrels out here, and I had all kinds of people over here. Because 50 is a big deal, you know. So and whiskey tasting. We had 6 whiskeys out there, and we had this thing set up, this card set up where they would put them in order the way they like them and write tasting notes about them and all that. We just look at them and all that. But I didn't really look at all that stuff till a couple of days later because after a certain point I didn't remember a lot of it. So that was it. It was cool. Yeah, the 50th birthday and doing a bourbon thing because she knew I was into this kind of stuff. So
Nice.
that was fun. It was really fun.
I'll go last, just by the way.
This guy's got a good one though.
I was going to say for my 21st birthday,
Parker.
from what I heard, it was really fun. I don't remember it all that too well.
Hell yes.
From the pictures and videos, it looked awesome.
That's what she said.
And texts I received the next morning.
Without a
That
doubt.
was only 2 years ago.
Where am I? Oh, shit.
Without a doubt, if you don't remember most of it and you didn't wake up in a prison cell, it was a good birthday.
Successful.
Good
It was
job.
a success, yeah.
Hoorah.
He was with us. It was a good time. He was with us.
Right.
It was fun. It was fun. I
Excellent.
remember it.
Excellent.
We're gonna
Daniel.
go to Distiller Dan.
Dan, what do you got?
Well, if I had to pick most memorable birthday, that there's been a lot of good ones, but I would say, when I was about 14, I started picking up the guitar, and I'd got one for Christmas, and I played all night probably till 4 o'clock in the morning, learning the first 3 chords, G, C, and D. And by the time I graduated from Media Tech there in Austin, my parents took me out and they were like, we're going to stop by this place real quick. And we stopped by a music store in Austin and picked out this Taylor acoustic guitar I got on the wall over here. So that's a pretty memorable one.
Nice.
That's awesome.
That is cool, man.
All right, you're up, Sean.
Okay. It'll be disappointing. I don't really do birthdays. Kind of like Myron, even to a lesser degree, probably. I don't really care for them. But that said, occasionally people find out when your birthday is, whether you want them to or not. And so when I turned 21, it's always a big one. And so this is back when I was a crazy person. And so a bunch of my buddies bought a bunch of things. And the short of it is, I won't get into what all happened that night, but the short of it is I woke up at 5 a.m. in a culvert, a ditch, whatever you want to call it, about 3 blocks from the house that we were partying at. How that happened, I couldn't really tell you, but the sun woke me up. The sun is what woke me up. So,
All right. Well, once again, as long as you wake up in a cell, it was a success.
Yeah.
I think
Turn
you
off
have
the
one
sun.
more.
Me?
Yes.
My favorite. I assume that Ireland's gonna be just awesome. But
However,
my wife threw a legit 40th surprise party. I had no idea. There are pictures of me, my jaw dropping to the floor because I had no idea. People were waiting. My buddy opened up like a divider, and there was a bunch of people there. It was a great time. So that was a lot of fun, and I do remember that one. And I did not wake up in a jail cell, so success all around. It was a win-win for everybody involved. So yeah, praise be to He. And you know what? I always say, Sean and Myron, who are like kind of lukewarm on birthdays, I always say about birthdays, having another birthday beats the alternative. So embrace
No,
it. Embrace it.
I mean, like I was trying to not get into it. Like I don't find it a valuable exercise to celebrate yourself.
All right. Well, hey, to each their own. To each their own. Who has a rapid fire for us? Bobby, go.
I got one.
Hold on.
Okay, I got is Caitlin Clark being treated unfairly in the WNBA right now? And after I wrote this, I just heard that she got suspended by the WNBA. Is Caitlin Clark being treated unfairly in the WNBA?
Side note: the WNBA is probably going bankrupt this year.
Well,
I will
not now. Not now with the NBA back. NBA was backing them. They would have gone a long time ago. The NBA wasn't backing them. But.
Hey,
Anyway,
I am completely in regulation. I just trimmed it today. I'm a league
Okay.
anyway.
I will say this. I do not watch the WNBA. Well, like probably 90%
I don't
of the
either.
population.
What's the WNBA?
Yeah, no one does.
But
Yeah, nobody does, but I watched her.
I will say media coverage wise, absolutely, she's being treated unfairly,
I agree.
100% unfairly. And I think, unfortunately, it's a trait of the media in general. They need to make a story out of something, and they will do that by any means necessary. And unfortunately, Caitlin Clark is the victim of that. So I would say yes, 100%.
Agreed.
Right on.
Who's up?
Agreed.
Let's go, Myron.
Myron.
Here we go.
Unfortunately, I don't watch NBA or WNBA. I only see the
either,
stuff
really.
about Caitlin Clark on TikTok, so I really can't comment.
Right.
Okay.
Go now. Just
All right,
just
fair enough.
Google. Just go to YouTube and type WNBA. Shit will explode.
Ben.
First time we
Caitlin
tried
Clark, go.
I don't really know anything about the WNBA or NBA either, but I have been seeing a lot of stuff about Caitlin Clark, so I'm more aware of it just because of her, which I think is like 90% of the nation at this point.
Sure.
Yes.
But it seems like she's being treated unfairly just by other players. I mean, from
Yes.
just the clips
Yes.
I see, it's just like,
for sure.
I don't know. Bill Burr's got a great bit on this whole thing. I think we talked about this last time, but it just seems like there's a little bit of cattiness going on there, and it's like, hey, man, she brought a lot of eyes to this sport that weren't there a year ago, so, you know. But, yeah, I mean, she probably is being treated unfairly, I would assume, yeah.
Well,
When you put that W on the front of it, the atmosphere is a lot different. Dan, go ahead.
It's out of my wheelhouse, man. I don't know.
She's
Fair
the only
enough,
reason
Sean.
watching it all.
I guess I have to comment because I know too much, I guess. Anyway, no, so like she's being compared to Steph Curry, which I guess in the WNBA, I guess that's fair. Compared to actual Steph Curry, no. But yeah, I mean, but that's true across the board. Now, she is a great player in the WNBA. That is the caveat. So. And she is bringing attention to the sport, some good, some bad. Not necessarily her fault. To Ben's cattiness, there is a lot of players that don't like the attention she's getting, and so she's getting kind of unnecessarily rough fouls happening quite often. There's also some dispute as to whether or not she's the Rookie of the Year, which she very clearly is.
Yes.
But nonetheless, I mean, there's a lot of attention around her because of all those things. I think she's a good player in that particular sport.
Yes. Can you please put me back up?
The best player ever.
Be happy to.
Probably.
That particular
Hold on. Hit it.
sport.
Yeah.
I mean, let's just be clear.
We're not talking about basketball, we're talking about the WNBA.
Oh,
There has been like it may have went up because it's been a few months since I've checked. Last I checked, the total number of dunks in the WNBA was 6.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So-
we're still in single digits. Yes.
Yeah. Well, and I don't know if anybody saw this week. They went and played Minnesota, who apparently is the best team in the league, and is also coached by the coach who's coaching the U.S.
National
Olympic team,
coach,
who snubs Caitlin Clark. And I guess in the fourth quarter, she like flipped the switch and took over the fourth quarter, and they won the game. And
Yeah.
You could see she had a little swagger when they were doing it, but I don't really know what she's suspended for. Bobby, you're the one who said she's suspended. What is she suspended for?
Technical fouls, because they're so if I've been paying attention to it and to be honest, I haven't watched any of the games actually. I watched the highlights on about 3 or 4 different channels that I watched. And she's you know what? If we stay on this after, I'll say it after. I'll say it after.
Right.
Because there's 2 reasons why she's being targeted. I'll say it after the actual stream is over.
The viewers are just going,
Yeah.
Bobby, just take your axe and start hitting the table. People come.
Yeah. The short of it is she's fouling people back that have been fouling her, which you know.
Right.
Well,
Ben, did you have a rapid fire? I saw you kind of raise your hand.
Come on, Ben.
Oh, I wasn't raising my hand for that, but I'll throw out a rapid fire, and I'll give you my answer because I don't think we've done this one yet. What is something that at this point in your life you're just freaking over? And for me, it's like going to a restaurant or a bar or something and like the overproduction of like if I order a drink and the guy starts juggling or some shit, it's just like, oh God, just pour it in the glass and let me get on with my life. You're just ruining this for me. Like my wife loves going to like Benihana where they do the thing at the table, you know, where you sit at the thing. And I'll still do it because I know she likes it. We'll do that for her birthday and sometimes if we're on like a cruise that has that on it or whatever. But for me personally, it's just like I just don't need all the production and the pomp and circumstance. It's like I've seen the show before. I appreciate you're very talented. I just want to eat my meal in quiet without a fucking circus around it.
1,000,000% with you, Bill.
All right.
And by Bill,
right.
I mean Walmart Bill Burr.
Who's next?
Dollar General Bill Burr.
I'm sorry. Yeah.
Okay. That's even cheaper.
You guys are the angry old men that say, "Get your football off of my lawn."
Oh, hey.
Yeah.
You, Sean. What are you over, Sean?
Yeah, no, I'm with Ben. I have to agree with that for sure. No, I mean, like, why? Just make the food taste good. Just stop. I don't know. And make my drink taste good. Just do things quickly so I can, get not hungry and hammered. No, thing I'm actually over though. Okay. Well, we're moving quickly.
Keep
Brian.
going, Sean.
Okay. Yeah. Anyway, no, thing I'm actually over. Can I say this? Yeah, we're going to say it. It's late in the night. People getting divided over politics. I'm over that. Let's not do that anymore. Can we just not? It doesn't matter that much. It's all stupid. Can we agree it's all stupid? It's right. Yeah.
100%. Yeah.
Don't get mad about it. It's like a reality show. Don't get mad about it.
Yeah. No matter who's in charge, they hate you. So.
Yeah. I'm over it.
All right.
Agreed.
He's got one.
Dan,
He's got
what
one.
are you over? What are you
That's what I was gonna say, man. It's too much. There's too much going on with politics. It's just it's you can't follow it, and even if you do follow it, it's crazy on all spectrums.
Yep, I agree.
I'm going to you.
Going to me.
Yes.
You know what? I think the politics thing 100%. I've been tuning into it a lot this week, especially, and it's too much. Both sides are full of shit. None of them are working in our best interest. Vote libertarian. I'm done.
Okay. We're going to go to Bobby.
You got one. This guy got one. Maybe Bad Axe got one.
So, you guys have a certain genre of music you guys tend to listen to when you're drinking. Whatever you're drinking in your room, you're just chilling out. What sets the tone, sets the vibe for you guys?
I love the question.
Okay.
Okay, since we're already on here, I'll say Frank Sinatra. I like chill out. We'll chill out. We'll have a couple. They start getting a little loose, and we'll start. I'll get on the actual vinyl. We'll get Bing Crosby, or not Bing Crosby. Well, Bing Crosby too. Dean Martin, Bing Crosby, but Frank Sinatra. That Rat Pack stuff where you just let that play and just chill out and have father-son conversations.
Yeah.
Some of the best conversations you ever had. So That's mine. It really starts with Frank Sinatra on actual vinyl.
Good shit.
Well, I've got two things. So I'm over traffic. That's one thing that I didn't get off my chest.
Come on,
That's a good
man.
one.
Come on, I'm in California.
Even though I get up at 4 a.m. and I get my shit on and I'm out of the door by like 4:50, I still deal with these. I don't want to call them a penis head, but you know what I mean.
You should. You should.
When I go over Wilson Bridge, so I deal with those people that's always cutting me off. And then when it comes to music, when I'm just chilling out, man, honestly, you know, I listen to things like Anthony Hamilton. I love things like Anthony Hamilton, Aretha Franklin, Luther Vandross. I'm kind of an old school dude when it comes to R&B and soul.
There you
Okay.
go. Yeah.
Luther. I like it.
Yeah. Luther Vandross.
Yo, hey, I appreciate the Anthony Hamilton, man. That's a great
Same
shout out.
here.
Like,
The audio only. Oh, look at this. What are you doing?
just happened?
Here we go.
Nice.
Oh,
Can you
snap.
see me?
Yeah.
Okay. So I'm
Hot
going to tell
damn.
you that at dinner every night with our kids, Brian and I always do 2 goods and 1 bad. And we say, Alexa, playing Frank Sinatra radio because my daughter can't stand chewing noises. So we have to play music in order to mute that sound out. And we play Frank Sinatra radio and we talk about the things that have happened in our kids' day. And I think for the last 10 to 15 years, that will always be a beautiful memory for me of things that we talked about with our kids at the dinner.
Nice.
Yes, I love it.
And I
love
think
it.
that is definitely nice. And I think that's definitely our, like, even when we're sitting down here, because this here, when it's not the studio, it's the bourbon lounge. I've got like some nice leather chairs and stuff I slide in here. And like if we're down here just sitting, it's like Bobby said, like Frank Sinatra radio, Rat Pack, we'll throw it on
You
YouTube.
remind me of my mom and dad,
Yeah,
too.
that's very relaxing and it makes us sound very old, but that is what it is. So I'll own it.
We own it, dude.
All right, who's next?
Oh God, I don't know.
Daniel.
Daniel, here we go.
I think some nice like Spanish flamenco guitar, like maybe some Herb Alpert's Tijuana brass.
hell yeah.
Oh,
Some nice 60s smooth stuff.
right on. My parents had a stack of Herb Albert and Tijuana Brass LPs. I think I have them in a box somewhere. Yeah,
They're great.
that's good
All
stuff.
of them. They're
Yup.
fantastic.
What about Dan? What about like Gypsy Kings? You listen to them?
Yeah. Yeah, they're awesome too, man.
They're fun. Yeah, they are a lot of fun.
Did we hear from Ben?
Who's next?
I think Ben.
Ben.
As far as music goes, it really depends on the mood I'm trying to get into. If I'm drinking whiskey by myself in the garage, having a cigar or something like that, and just kind of sitting there, just kind of having a night, like a lot of Jason Isbell's good. There's a band out of Denton, Texas, from a long time ago called Slobberbone. Those guys are great. And then the lead singer of that band started another band called the Drams. So that stuff's really good for like just sitting there having a pour and kind of like just getting deep or whatever. And then sometimes too, just like throw on the Final Cut by Pink Floyd. That's a rough one. That doesn't make for a cheerful night, but it's a good one.
Ben, this comment's for you. Brian.
What is it?
I'm over.
I'm over people disbelieving in the neck pour. Listen, man, the comment that I always get is, I know my taste buds and I know this whiskey tastes different when I drink it 2 weeks later. I'm not denying that. I'm just saying the 2 inches of air is not responsible for that. It's the tacos you had for lunch. You're dehydrated. It's your memory.
Hey, that's what Ben's tired of, is that 2 inches of air.
Come on.
Ready?
Yeah, Sean, what do you
A
got?
lot of other variables there.
Yeah. So, sorry, been distracted. So music. All right. So I would say it depends on the mood, like much like Ben was saying. So if it's been a good day, then I kind of like yourself. Then I might even go like Frank Sinatra. You know, that's never a bad choice. But typically, what I go for if it's a good day is something like usually melodic death metal. So shout out to my boys band Shred. Baron Altar is always a go-to. Another one called Death Forged is great. If you want something a little more angry, then as I mentioned earlier in the stream, Slaughter to Prevail. Great. Also, less known, but Hath did a great death metal album last year. It just depends on the mood, but that's usually the stuff I'm getting into. So a wide variance there. So from Frank Sinatra all the way to death metal. So it just depends on the day.
Have you heard of Lorna Shore?
Yeah, they're all right.
Oh yeah.
Okay. Are we good? Does anybody else have a rapid fire to share? Awesome. Okay.
Oh, well, actually, if I could, if this is the end of the show, rapid fire. How hard do you think it would be for a security team to plant themselves on the top of a very slightly sloped metal roof?
I knew it was good. Sean was not going to let us get out of here without something like this.
It was a sloped roof.
I've been waiting for Sean to ask this question all night. I even prepared a graphic.
I don't even know what you guys are referring to. I'm just asking, like, as a security professional, like, what your opinions are on, if there was a slight pitch in a metal roof, how hard do you think it would be to plant yourself there? Just out of curiosity, and you just, speculation. I don't know. You everyone decide for themselves.
And we're going to leave that one open-ended, folks. We're going to let you all decide on that on your own.
When Sean said earlier that politics was getting too divided and he was over it, I was like, this is a trap. Yeah. He's leading us into a trap.
So here's the thing, Ben. I don't care about whoever you vote for. What I do care about is don't give me a bullshit excuse when you don't do your job right.
I agree, 100%.
Yep.
I think you also shouldn't say the buck stops with you, but then also say you're not leaving your job.
Brian, shut up.
Sorry, my thoughts.
Shut up.
Okay, so let's go around the horn real quick for everybody. Tell us what you have coming up on your channels.
What can I do?
We'll start with Myron. What you got?
Just regular reviews, couple of blinds. My sample Sundays come out every Sunday, so check me out every Sunday, and that's pretty much it.
All right, awesome. Ben, what do you got?
Just a couple reviews. Greg and I haven't been able to get together this week, so I filmed a couple of videos. So I have tomorrow's video and next week's Monday's content. So tomorrow we got the Dickel Bottled and Bond, and then I got Bernheim Barrel Proof coming up on Monday.
Nice. All right, cool. Bobby, what do you got?
Well, I got my what I've been doing lately. Just getting back into it since I took like a week off going to Texas with it to see this guy. I actually got to pin a badge on this guy, right here, becoming a firefighter. So I took about a week off. So just really the shorts right now, and I have a couple of hunt videos like Costco. What's normally at Costco? Look for that video and another video to come out as far as premieres. Other than that, spending time with this guy for the next 3.5 weeks or so before he goes to Italy.
Nice.
What do you got coming on, Parker? What do you got coming on, baby badass?
Italy.
I ain't got nothing. I'm chilling, laying back at home.
He's gonna be in some videos with me doing these shorts, these this or that's, and what would Bobby buy? We'll go. What would Baby Badass buy? We'll do some of those.
I'm growing out my my goatee. I'm gonna be out of rags for the next 3 weeks.
then right before you go back, you got to shave it off, right?
Yeah.
No, it's so for Europe. There's some like questionable stuff going on in Europe right now. Some like terrorist action going on. So they want us to grow out our facial hair and not look like military while we go over there. And then when we get to our base, we can shave our facial hair off.
Interesting. Okay, cool.
Yeah, man.
No military affiliation until I'm at base.
Gotcha. Sean, what do you got?
I'm sorry. What was the thing we're doing? I was distracted.
What do you got coming up?
Oh, yeah.
Friday, right?
Yeah. So Friday we'll be streaming again. Probably going to be on Mash Metal. So most of you kind of know the deal. But if you don't, and if you are new to this, then hope we see you Friday. But what we do on Fridays is music requests plus whiskey. So we talk about whatever new kind of bottles you're finding, plus whatever new bottles I have found that week, and kind of do short reviews of whiskey as well as do music requests. So last week we did a hip hop stream. And then we also kind of briefly went through M's new album, which a lot of folks were not a fan of. But nonetheless, just for posterity, we did. So this week, I haven't really thought of a theme yet, but we'll do something for sure.
Cool.
It's early in the week still, so we got 2 days to figure it out.
It's only Wednesday. We won't rush you.
Brian Fabiano.
All right.
Wait a minute. Okay, go.
So on Bourbon School, actually, Lauren's coming tomorrow, so we're going to do some filming, the three of us. We've got some reviews of some of the bottles I grabbed on vacation in Maine. We grabbed on vacation in Maine. And also, just real quick, I'll do a little shameless self-promotion. This is our pick we did with Buffalo Bourbon Enthusiasts. It's 1911 is outside of Syracuse. If you are in Western New York, you can pick it up at Midnight Liquors. It is delicious. It is 124 proof. It is 4.5 years old. It is $42.99 for a 124 proof bourbon. It's delicious. So go grab that if you live in Western New York. And if you don't, message me about hand delivery. So
And also look for our updates on our trip to Ireland.
yes, we'll be updating our trip to Ireland. We're going in a few weeks, but that's a few weeks down the road. And finally, Daniel, why don't you shoot to us the websites we should be going to?
Did you do what Myron?
Yeah, we did Myron.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
I'm so sorry.
Daniel, tell us where we need to go get that cowpuncher gear.
www.cowpuncherthreadcompany.com and use cowpuncher15 for 15% off. Also for Rebecca Creek, stay tuned for that experimental series before the end of the year. And maybe possibly, hopefully early 2025, another double barrel Spanish Oak Incorporated edition.
Okay.
Woo,
all right.
You heard it here. You heard
There
it
you go,
here.
guys. There you go. We had a lot of people asking about it. So there
It's
you
not
go.
going to be the same as this double barrel, but it's going to have a little, the little pinch Spanish Oak.
All right. All right. We'll look forward to that. Daniel, thank you so much for spending time with us tonight. Thank you so much for spending time with us tonight. We really appreciate it.
Heck yes.
Thank y'all for having me, and thank y'all for letting me talk about my business and the distillery.
Absolutely. We are huge fans of what you guys are doing at Rebecca Creek. We have a lot of people who watch who are huge fans, so we'll look forward to what you guys are going to do in the future. And thank you so much. Yeah.
Brian, before we close down, can we just show that Cowpuncher logo one more time, man? Because I love that. Bobby, can we get that Cowpuncher logo on full display there?
Oh, dude, this is the Bourbon Cowboy. The Cowpuncher logo. He's got it. That's the logo. That CP. The CP.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
The Bourbon
I'm
Cowboy.
He likes the Bourbon Cowboy.
That shit right there, man. That's money right there.
That's a great shirt. You know I'm getting one of those.
The hat Daniel's got on, I can't wait to get that hat, man. When it's on the website, I'll get it.
All right.
It's not.
So, guys, thank you all for watching tonight. All the people out there in the chat, thank you for your questions. Thank you for your comments. Thank you for tuning in. Hit that like button. Make sure you subscribe to the Whiskey Six if you're not already. And so you'll never miss an update or a stream that's coming up. Our next stream will be in August, probably mid-August. We haven't really determined that yet. Guess to be determined. So you can tell we've been on vacations and stuff, so we haven't had.
Basically, they know nothing.
Yeah, so we bring nothing to the table except we'll see you sometime in August. But thank you all for tuning in, and good night from the Whiskey Six. Cheers, everybody.
Cheers, everybody.
Cheers, people.
Thanks, Daniel.
I know.